Me. Okay. Hi, and welcome to Unit 5. I'm Betty George.
And I'm Carolina Gallegos.
And we're going to talk to you about the Unit 5 reading on the Horizon reports. First, we're going to start with the ISTE standards. We noticed we both actually read the same report, which was the 2017 K-12 edition for Horizon. And we noticed that throughout the report, it actually did not touch on any of the ISTE standards for teachers and coaches. So we're not really going to talk about that one tonight. We're going to talk more about the Horizon report. So this one kind of talked about long-term trends that happen, programs that will be adopted for 5 or more years, and then in the next 3 to 5 years, and then programs that will start in the next 1 to 2 years. So from 5 to more years, they talked about advancing cultures of innovation. And the phrase that really stuck out to me was actually the first line. It says, schools have been regarded as a vehicle for driving innovation and entrepreneurship. And that really stuck with me because it is the school's responsibility to drive that instruction and drive that that innovation, because where else are they going to get it if they don't get it in school? Most likely, I mean, they're not going to get it at home unless they are homeschooled, and that's what their program that they're enrolled in is focused on. Really, it's school's job to really spearhead that for kids. Do you have anything else to add?
I know it said to kind of accept failure. That's something else that stuck out to me. And especially within this class, I know with a lot of technology that I'm getting introduced to, I have this, error parts that I learned from, so then I'm able to actually make the product. So that also stuck out to me, because that is something important, because I don't think, and as a teacher, I focus on that. It's more like, no, the end product of you getting it, not the process of learning. Mm-hmm. And the next part of the long-term trends were deeper learning approaches. So just kind of thinking more critical thinking, problem solving, collaborating. It's more self-directed learning for students. And as we spoke before in our last unit, is kind of hard sometimes as teachers to kind of let go of that, to kind of let it be self-driven as students learn. This will be more of an active learning that allows students to kind of develop and take that ownership within their own learning.
I agree. The word that kind of stuck out, everything that you just said, the theme of this section was just constructivism. That kids are constructing their own learning. They're in charge of in charge of their own learning, collaborating, directed learning. Like you said, moving from a passive approach to a more active approach. I thought that was great. That that's what we need to do in order to get that deeper learning.
Right.
So the next section was talking about programs that would kind of adoption that would start in the next 3 to 5 years, which was growing focus on measuring learning. So basically, it really talked about how society and economic factors are going to redefine, or they are redefining, what skills are necessary in the workforce today. And because of those redefinitions, schools have to adjust and rethink how they are defining, measuring, and demonstrating mastery, and also the soft skills like creativity and collaboration. And I thought that was very important because, one of the biggest reasons why either kids who graduate, they are not hired in a business, or people are let go, is because they don't know how to work with each other. They don't know how to collaborate and teamwork, because they never were taught to do that. And it's such a strange thing to me, because I don't remember ever being taught to work in a group. It was just, you just worked in a group. But it's like weird that things have changed, and you have to actually teach a kid how to effectively argue with someone, like appropriately, and then how to work with them. And even if you don't like them, suck it up, deal with it. You're going to have to do it, because when you get to be an adult, you don't get to choose your coworkers. You have to work with them. And so, this is something that the schools need to really focus on, is teaching those skills on collaboration, teamwork, and then also the soft skills of creativity, basically thinking outside of the box as well, and just being innovative.
Right. And like you said, with the collaboration, I know within my classroom, when they start bickering and they start telling me stuff, I always tell them, I'm not the friend police. I'm never going to make you be friends with someone, but you are going to respect each other within this classroom. Mm-hmm. So I know even in second grade, it's just, when they work together with, especially when it's 3 or more, as soon as that third person comes in, the collaboration kind of tends to fall apart. So it is teaching them how to work with each other and how to also taking turns of who's going to be the leader, who gets to, take it and actually is the leader of the whole thing instead of having like 3 leaders within it too.
I agree.
The next midterm trend was redesigning learning spaces and kind of just upgrading from a teacher-centered school that it's formal learning environment to more student-geared. I know a lot of the new schools that are getting built in Cy-Fair ISD are very technology-based, very student-driven. It's amazing the great things that they're incorporating in these new schools. To have it designed so students can feel comfortable and actually succeed a lot more with the environment technology. But I know with older schools like mine, it's still more formal learning format. Mm-hmm. So I know something that I started doing this past year is like flexible seating and doing things like that I can start kind of changing the format of my classroom more student-based instead of teacher, format for me. So just little things like that. It was interesting to see that those things that they talked about are things that my district's already doing for the new schools. But we have to update the schools that have been built for many years.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I have nothing else to add to yours. I will ditto you. So the next section was talking about programs or EdTech adoptions that would happen in the next 1 to 2 years. And they talked about coding as a literacy. And I think that that's very important because it's like coding is like its own foreign language, or it should be, because it is a foreign language. It's not in words, it's with HTML. And so kids need to know how to code, and it's building their literacy. And so it talked about code.org, and that's something that I've used in the classroom, but I've also used with our Girls in STEM girls, and then our STEM camp that we had just over the summer. And I think it's really important that we start preparing young kids as soon as possible to learn how to even basic coding, because that's the digital learning age that they are in. And so they need to learn how to code. And I think that it should be done early on. It should be part of the curriculum. I know it would be hard for teachers to, when they're thinking about, okay, well, where am I going to fit coding into my day? Because really, where does it fit?
Right.
I don't know if we could do it as a station during reading time, maybe a station during math time, a little bit during science time, or, I know sometimes when it rains outside, they can't go outside or whatever, or it's too hot, maybe doing coding during recess time, since, you have to be indoors anyway. And just like finding little times to be able to introduce it to kids to help build that literacy in coding.
Right. I will say something, the first time I heard of actually integrating coding, I was more, how do I do it? And it's, especially how we're talking about before, is we need to get trained so we're able to at least facilitate it for them. But I know there's some activities too, like Robot Mouse or that Codapillar, that are it's age appropriate for the younger kids, so then they can start getting introduced to coding, because I think it said something in 2020. I think that's going to be basically like 1 million jobs unfulfilled for compute, for programming and all that. So we really need to start getting students familiar with it, because it is the future. And the last part was short term was rise of STEAM learning. So it's STEM, but instead they added an A to add art into it. So it's more taking our kind of combining all of them and how they all interchange. I know with me, I was like, how can we fit that in? But then I started doing a couple research, and I saw you can make like lighting with the robots. That can be art if it's like flashing or wearable technology, clothes, I guess you can say. Which with the STEM, my school has just started kind of talking about it. Well, it's not, and especially because I'm a language arts teacher, I know that they even said that STREAM, they're even talking about to add reading to it too. So right now I'm not very proficient in STEM. I know you know a lot about STEM, so you can probably give me more insight on it than what I know.
I love STEM.
Yes.
But no, like I think it's really important to like our district is I guess a STEM district. I think that where a lot of people get stuck is the STEAM part of it. I'm not 100% comfortable with STEAM yet because it's like I need to see more of it. I know that it's not just that it's the arts, but it's also the fine arts and the music part of it and dance, things like that. So I like that. It's I went to go visit a school in Austin or outside of Austin that they do. It's a STEAM school. The whole school is STEAM, and they're K-4 or K-5, and so the kids, like, I try to wrap my head around the A part of it.
Right.
The rest of it seems pretty easy. It's the A part of it that just like is throwing me, because so many people just say, oh, well, just, if we're talking about, parts of a flower for second grade, I'll just give them a coloring sheet and there's your A. But that's not,
no,
that's not, yes, that's coloring art, but it's not part of the STEAM part of it that makes it deeper level thinking,
right,
to make it the A. So I think that there are some misconceptions of STEAM is not just coloring or painting, or it's the actual like integration of an art within
technology.
Correct. And so I thought that was really cool that in this school, like there was a second grade class that I observed, and they had in science, they were learning about the parts of the plant and their function. And so in their dance class, they had to come up with a dance routine that reflected the parts of the plant. And then one of the other groups had to they were the videographers for it. So you kind of get the different parts of it and then upload it to whatever website the teacher had was using, so parents could see it too. So I thought, okay, well, there's the A in STEAM, because
appropriately, right?
Yes. So I think it's just hard for schools or for people just to get the idea of the A. I think I still definitely need to get more training in it, because I'm not completely comfortable with it yet.
Right, and I think a lot of teachers will probably feel the same unless you give them an actual example to say, hey, this is how you need to incorporate it, because it's going to be hard to actually kind of get the concept of how, because if not, a lot of people are going to say, oh, here, like you said, here's a coloring sheet, and that's not
it.
The way it's not going to work.
No. So,
well,
that was it. So we hope you enjoyed Unit 5, and we have one more to go, so we will see you for
one more time.
One more time.